I showed up at the family's lake house barbecue with my kids, just wanting a normal day. But my dad's words cut deep. "You always bring trouble. Get out." My sister laughed under her breath as we walked away, humiliated. An hour later, the phone rang. My mom, frantic. "Why is the bank card locked?" The same family that pushed me out was now begging at my door. "Get out, Juan, you always bring trouble." Dad's shout shook the whole room. His fist hit the wooden table so hard that plates rattled, one almost sliding off. The smell of grilled meat and cheap beer hung in the air, sour now. I didn't argue. I just stood there, my son's hand squeezing mine until his knuckles turned white. My daughter pressed her face into my arm, her small shoulders trembling. My sister, Mabel, leaned back in her chair, red lipstick marking her glass. She laughed under her breath, soft but sharp enough to cut. That laugh stayed in my chest like a knife. Mom kept twisting a napkin between her fingers until it tore. Her eyes never looked up, as if she'd rather vanish than watch. Then Dad's voice dropped low, cruel. "You stole from us, didn't you? That's why the bank card is locked, admit it." The whole table turned to me, accusing eyes, hungry for someone to blame. "My name is Juan. I'm 26. In this family, I'm not Juan. I'm the quiet one. The problem. The mistake. I've spent years learning not to shout, not to fight, just to stand back and let their storm pass. But silence isn't weakness. It's storage. I've stored every insult, every demand, every time they shoved me to the side. Right now, they see me as the thief, the screw-up. But deep down, I know something they don't. A truth I've held back, waiting for the day they'd need me most. And tonight, at this BBQ, that truth is pressing against my chest, ready to come out.
Family members introduced. Dad, Thomas, 60, always carrying himself like a general. Loud, angry, quick to remind everyone who pays the bills, even when his debts nearly sank us all. Mom, Lillian, 58. Her voice barely exists anymore, mostly soft whispers or silent tears. She holds onto Dad like he's the only rope keeping her from drowning.
Mabel, 29, my older sister. Loud, polished, sharp as glass. She interrupts just to remind me that I'm the shadow, not the star. Always first in line for Dad's praise, Uncle Ray, in his 50s, but acts like a boy in the back of the class. Pretends he doesn't pick sides, but he's the one whispering fuel into every fire. Each of them played their role like a script. Dad shouting, Mabel sneering, Ray smirking, Mom silently breaking. And me? Just standing there, the target. The one they've always chosen when they need someone to carry the blame. "Inheritance money doesn't just vanish," Dad snapped, pointing a finger at me like a gun. His voice was so loud the window glass shook. I stayed still. Calm. "Inheritance?" I repeated, soft, like I didn't care. But inside, my chest burned. They weren't just mad about a bank card. This was about the land, the lake house, the money Mom's parents left behind, the money Dad promised was safe. Mabel leaned forward, hair swinging. "Don't act innocent, Juan. You've always been jealous, always wanting what isn't yours." Inside my head, I laughed bitterly. Jealous? I was the one who gave up my share years ago so they could keep this house standing. But I stayed silent. Then Uncle Ray slipped up, words tumbling out by accident. "Well, maybe if Thomas hadn't pulled from the fund last spring." He froze mid-sentence. His eyes darted to Dad, and the room went still. Mabel slammed her wine glass down so hard the stem snapped. "Don't you dare talk about Dad like that," Ray stammered. "I didn't mean—" Dad shot him a look that could kill, Mom whispered, her voice breaking. "It wasn't Juan." No one looked at her. No one ever did. I finally spoke, voice calm enough to make them nervous. "Funny," I said, "how the thief is always the first to point." The words landed like stones. Dad froze. Mabel's lips tightened. Even Ray shifted uncomfortably. For the first time, their rage wasn't enough to cover the fear in their eyes. I remembered being 19, standing in the echoing locker room of the public pool, hair still dripping from a lifeguard shift, Dad shoved a paper into my hands, his voice booming against the tiles. "Sign it, Juan. You're the only one who can. Don't you dare be selfish." It was the land deed. My share of Mom's property. He was losing everything, and the only way to save the lake house was for me to give up my rights. I signed. My hand shook the whole time. The ink smeared where my wet fingers touched. Mabel never showed up. Ray congratulated Dad like it was a victory. That night, I walked home with wet shoes squelching, head down. I felt like nothing. Mom looked at me then, just once, and I knew she understood what I'd lost. But she said nothing. That silence carved me deeper than Dad's shouting ever could. I finally let the truth out, my voice steady, cutting. "You want answers? Fine. The money's gone because Dad drained it. Uncle Ray helped cover it." And Mabel knew because she took her cut. Mabel's laugh snapped into silence. The red drained from her face. Dad opened his mouth to roar back, but Mom broke first. "It's true," she whispered, her hands trembling. "I begged them not to, but they wouldn't listen." The room erupted, Mabel screaming, Ray swearing, Dad pacing like a cornered wolf. And me? I just stood there, calm as stone. "I knew the whole time," I said. "I waited for this moment, for all of you to choke on your own lies." "You ruined this family," Dad shouted, spit flying. I shook my head. "No, you ruined it years ago. I just stopped cleaning your mess." The silence after that was sharp, heavy. I looked at each of them, slow, letting them feel it. "I gave you all my silence. Tonight, I give you the truth." The shock came from Mabel. Of all people, her voice cracked, shaky. "He's right. You did this, Dad. Not him." The favorite daughter finally broke ranks. For once, I wasn't standing alone. I picked up my kids' jackets, zipped them up. Their eyes were wide, scared, but I smiled, steady. I didn't storm out. I walked slow, calm, free. The weight on my back, that invisible sack of blame I'd carried for years, was slipping off with every step. Behind me, Mom's voice broke. "Juan, wait, please." Her words shook, clumsy. "I'm sorry. I should have protected you." I paused, just for a breath. "I know," I whispered. Then I kept walking. They'll never see me the same again, I thought. And I don't need them to. Weeks later, the lake house was quiet. Neighbors whispered. Relatives called me for the real story. But me? I was lighter. I worked long shifts, came home tired but happy. I cooked simple meals for my kids, laughed when they laughed, tucked them in at night with no one's shadow hanging over us. Sometimes I remembered that locker room, that pen, my wet shoes, the humiliation. But now when I remembered, I didn't feel crushed. I felt stronger. For the first time, I thought, watching my kids breathe softly in their sleep, I don't carry their weight anymore. Pain stayed. Betrayal stayed. But peace finally found me.
If you were in my place, would you forgive, or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Share your story below, like if you connected with Juan's pain and strength. Subscribe for more raw, emotional family stories that cut deep and heal slow.